Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. So, you guys, this is Tamika's Den. I am Tamika, all right? Get on in here, all right? Today is Wednesday. Y'all know what's going down, all right? And let's talk sisters. And so, today's episode is Counter Punch. This is season 4, episode 9. To be honest, it wasn't a lot happening in this episode. It really wasn't much to it. You know, we started out with Zach getting arrested. He's asking what is he getting arrested for? You know, Jake is telling him to relax. And he was like, how the hell can I relax when there's something like this going on? And so he was like, come on, you got to tell me something. She's not telling me anything. And so she asking if he got any weapons on him. He's like, no, I don't. She was like, well, still don't move. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to search you for weapons. And so he was like, can you tell this guy to stop with the Incredible Hulk, mess on me, to loosen this up a little bit? And she was like, I'm going to check you now. And so she go ahead and check him. And, Jake is basically asking, is all of this necessary? She's like, oh, I'm not speaking to you, Oh, God, this irks my damn nerves. And so he was saying, you got to tell me what I'm being arrested for. And she going to talk about, no, I don't. That's between you and the judge. When he's asking who's the judge going to be, she's like, she don't know. That's bull crap. I never heard nothing like that. As far as I know, you always have the right to know why you are being arrested or what you were being arrested for. And of course, they tell you you have the right to remain silent and ask for an attorney and all of that kind of stuff. But she's not telling Zach anything. It's just like, oh, well, you're going to be arrested. You're being taken in. And then, you'll find out whatever later. So Jake asks where they taking him to. She tells him they're taking him to Fulton County. He's like, okay, I know some people. I'm going to meet you there. And then Zach is telling him to call Fatima. And he's like, I got you. She folded her hands and looking at Jake with an attitude, talking about y'all done with the small talk. I'm like, yo, get this fake ass cop out of here, okay? That just irritated me. And so he still was telling them to please call Fatima. And he was like, I got you. All right. We went from that to Andy and Fatima essentially talking. Fatima comes in, brings us some coffee. She's asking how she made out. How was it last night? And Fatima's like, Andy rather is like, you know what? I ain't even gonna lie. I really like, this daggone penthouse. I want to keep it. When she's asking her, do she still want her to introduce her to the guy with the car? She's saying, I don't know, maybe not. She might want to go ahead and keep it. And so at one point, Fatima knows that she is still considering giving Gary a chance, that him buying all this stuff for her is having an impact. We all know, ain't nobody damn shocked. And so Fatima actually says give her a minute and goes to her office, gets this ball. When she brings it back, it's a ball that basically has like a bunch of, I don't remember if it was yarn or rubber bands, one or the other. And, the whole point of it is you keep taking off pieces to see, like, okay, you're taking off a piece for every bad experience, every bad memory that you could think that he did. It's kind of like when you do that list and seeing what's good outweighs the bad. So, of course, it would be like you keep taking it off and you see how much you have taken off compared to how much you still have. And then, Fatima's like, trust me, it really does work, that she has done it for herself. It was something that I think she said a therapist had given to her before, and she was like, it's really good. And so Andy was saying, do you need one for Zach? And she was like, oh no, Andy, as far as Zach goes, I'm good. She was like, I love him, he loved me. You could have all that stuff with Gary or Robin and their money, but I would take Zach on any day. Okay. And so she was saying he's blowing my, and Andy cuts in and was like, you're back. And she's like, no, but really he's blowing my mind, he's just so amazing. And so Andy is like, go Zach. She was like, that's what's up, I'm happy for you with that. And so basically, she tells her, you handled yourself very well last night. And then, Fatima basically says thank you. And she was like, look, I actually do know where she's coming from. I do understand it, just from a woman's perspective or whatever the case may be. And Andy was saying thank you for understanding. And so she was like, well, do you think she's going to be okay? And Andy says, yeah, when it comes to Karen, she is one tough cookie. She just basically wants to have the baby and be able to co-parent with Zach. And so at this point, Fatima's like, I don't know about all of that. And then Andy's like, what do you mean? Hold up. Like, let's not get it confused that this is still my friend. Like, what do you mean by that? And she's like, well, we got to figure out who's the daddies first. And then, Karen is like, look, okay, it is Zach. And so Fatima's like, well, can it be Preacher Man? And she was like, did he tell you that? And she was like, well, they did do it around the same time. So obviously, Fatima and Zach know the tea too. Of course, he know it because he walked in on them. And so this is a thought that is in Zach's head as well as ours, okay? And so, she's like, well, we're going to just have to see. We want these results to come out. And if it is his, then we could go from there. And so, Andy is telling her don't hold her breath. And, Fatima's basically like, girl, yeah, I'm counting the angels, God, prayers, everything, okay? But she was like, I really don't think that is his baby. And Andy was basically saying, we will see. And she was like I said, telling her, that is still my friend. And so Fatima does let us know that this is kind of hurting her, right? Because Fatima's never really expressed the fact that this hurts her. She's always kind of been like, well, it's not like we was together. It's not like he cheated on me for this situation to happen. If it is his baby, this is a part of life. We'll handle it as it come and all that good stuff, right? Which I'm sure she feels those things as well, too. But she does say in tonight's episode that she actually wanted to be the ones to have his babies, right? And so if it does come out that it's hers, it is going to hurt her to a certain degree. But at the end of the day, she will have to deal with it, the best that she could. And Andy was saying that she does, get that and understand that part as well. And so she was like, y'all have been approaching the situation great so far. And so Fatima was asking her if there's anything else. And she was like, no, I'm good. And she was like, all right. And she went ahead, and left out or whatever. And so, of course, after the whole Q showing up to the bank thing, Sabrina wants to talk to Maurice about that. And honestly, I'd rather just get the Q and Maurice situation whole shebang out the way, because that story is a storyline that's irking the hell out of me. I cannot stand it. I don't understand the point of it. I don't want to see it. I'm over it. It's just silly to me. And so, of course, Sabrina's asking Maurice, did he bail him out? He's like, no, he had a deal with the DA. She's like, well, what was he doing here? What's the point of him coming around? I hope you still not gonna be talking to him. Maurice is saying he gave him a ring. She like, huh? Like, what the hell is he even feeling that comfortable? And she was like, oh my God, because Maurice gonna talk about he nice. Like, nice where, Maurice? What the hell are you talking about? She was like, you don't remember what he did to us? So he's like, yes, I remember. She was like, he had damn guns in our faces. And he's like, yeah, I know. I remember. So, she's like, please don't tell me you gonna be mixed up in him again and you gonna go with him. He talking about something, he was just scared. And so, like I said, this whole storyline is irritating, the hell out of me. At one point, Maurice tells her he was just being nice to him and that apparently nobody else had been nice to him before. And she was like, have you lost your damn mind? And of course, she's like, don't do that. And he was like, I'm not doing nothing. And so we see that Maurice, just for whatever reason, likes, to be in toxic stuff. So anyway, he tells he don't want to hear anything and that he's going to go ahead and take care of the customers. But later, when Calvin come home, just like I think a lot of us predicted, this dude is sitting in the daggone house. And it's like, how the hell did you get in here? Why are you here? He's lying, talking about, oh, Maurice let me in and he told me I could wait here for him. He told me it's okay for me to stay with y'all. Oh no, you don't have to call him because he on his way home. Of course, Calvin don't believe him and he ends up calling him anyway. And he's like, what is this dude doing here? And Maurice is basically like, what are you talking about? Who? And he's saying to Maurice, don't play no games with me. Q, he was in the house when I got in here. He's like, let me speak to him. And Calvin basically puts it on speakerphone and he's saying to Q, what are you doing there? Nobody told you to be there. You can't be there. You gotta leave. You can't stay. And Q was trying to basically beat him in the head and, beg him to stay or force his way in to stay. And the whole thing is just irking my nerves, like I said, y'all. So that pretty much was that with the whole Maurice and Q, okay? We then get to that cop, that was at the airport with Danny. He's coming up to her. We found out that she actually stood him up. And he was like, that was wrong. And she was like, no, what was wrong is that I kept telling you no and you kept insisting. So, maybe that would teach you a lesson and you would think about what you did. And he was like, fine, that's fair. And so he was like, as soon as you tell me this, I'll leave you alone. And she like, here we go. And he like, nah, come on. And so she's like, what is it? And he gonna talk about some, what is it? Who did what to you, to make you this way? And she was like, excuse the hell out of me. And he was like, no, you understand what I mean. I mean, you a woman like this, a man had to do something wrong. And so she was like, oh, what you mean? And he was like, well, you closed off and shut down. She was like, I'm not closed off and shut down. I'm just uninterested. She was like, what, you not used to people that actually could speak their mind and are not falling all over you and going all crazy for you. And so he talking about some, no, I never had that and whatever. So then she was like, oh, okay. And then he talking about, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. She like, no, you not. You really believe what you saying or whatever the case may be. And then he was like, look, if you get to know me, you would really like me. And basically heading back to that, she was telling him, I don't think so. I can say sometimes it does get annoying with these daggone men on this show as well, that they don't seem to be able to take no. Like, I don't know. But anyway, then he gets a call that his flight is about to depart and he's saying that he gotta go. So we had Andy actually call Danny and say she want to take her out to the Olive Bar tonight, that she needs to talk to her. She was like, oh, are you working? You gonna be off in a little bit? She's saying she gonna be off in a little bit too. So she asking her, do she want to grab something to eat? And Danny's like, what's going on? Because we all know that Andy don't call Danny like that. And she's like, oh, nothing, I just want to talk to you. And so she was like, have a little girl time. And so Danny's like, do I owe you money? And she's like, oh, I don't think so, no. And so she basically like, oh my God, Andy. Danny's so silly. She like, you giving me your old apartment, girl? So she like, hell no, Danny. So she's like, well, what the heck do you want to see me for? All right. Then what do you want? And so she's like I said, I just want to talk. And so she like, you never want to just talk to me. Why don't you call Sabrina and Karen? And she like, Danny, just me and you, okay? And so she's like, are you buying? And then, of course, Andy's like, yeah, okay, I'll buy. And she was like, all right, where we going? And that's when she told her the Olive Bar, and they basically say, all right, cool. So I'm like, well, I'm guessing that Andy is only calling Danny because Danny's reaction to the penthouse was like, oh, girl, he got you this, he got you that, and he's putting it all in your name. Whether you're going to be with him or not, keep all the stuff. Don't give back the stuff. And so right now, I'm guessing that she wants to be around her and hear her say that because she knows if it's going to be Karen or one of them, they are going to be like, give all that stuff back and do not play with that man at all. That's the only reason then that I could see why Andy would be calling Danny, because we know any other time she don't be wanting to be bothered, okay? And so we had the guy that got into it with Calvin, coming to the bank. And he's telling Sabrina how he's been to every branch, until he could find her. He would like to take her out. He's saying how they could go to Africa, and she reminds him of the beautiful woman in Africa. He like, yeah, we could take a special trip out there and spend 3 days. She's like, excuse me. She's like, thank you, but no thank you. So he's like, well, I guess I should get down to business. And she was like, yes, give me your ID, give me, the check, whatever the case may be, because he wants to make a withdrawal. So of course, once she looks into the bank account, I think it was something like 11 accounts, and it was like $36 million in one account that she had opened up, and he wanted the withdrawal to be for like $200,000. And she ended up having to tell him that they don't even have enough they don't have enough cash there at the bank to give him that type of withdrawal, that she could give him the information for another bank downtown. And he was like, no, that's okay, thank you, I'll figure it out, and it was just good to see you too. And he was like, oh, I thought you was about to tell me that I was broke, you scared me. And she's like, no, you far from it. And so he had told her, like I said, okay, it was no big deal. And he was like, I'll take care of it. And so she was like, you sure? And he was like, yes. And he was like, here's my number, you must call me, okay? Because of course he trying to get with Sabrina, and he gotta slide that on in there too, okay? And so she tells him that she'll think about it, and he was like, okay. And she tells him, thank you for banking with Brookhaven Bank. And so of course Maurice is 2 seconds away, okay, running up to be nosy, talking about, girl, what was going on? What did he have there? What did he want? How much did he want? And she's like, $200,000. And he was like, what? And she's like, mm-hmm. He was like, in cash? She's like, yeah. So he's like, oh, girl, how much did he have in there altogether? How much did he have? Spin it around so I can see. So she's talking about, Maurice, you know I can't do that. It's confidential. He was like, I work here and I'm the confidence queen. Turn it around. I said, Sabrina worry about stuff being confidential when she feel like it, because when it was time to look up Zach information and tell all the girls about it, she damn sure ain't have a problem. So he looks and he's like, wait, that was just one account. He was like, he got 11, man. Look at them other ones. If it was that much in the one, how much is in all them other ones? So she like, wow. So he was like, girl, you better go get that man. And she was like, she was like, not after what happened with Calvin. And he was like, you see all them zeros? And she was like, well, I'm not that type of person anyway. She was telling him to be quiet because they was in the bank. He was like, girl, I'm trying to get you paid. She was like, I never cared about a man and his damn money, all right? And he was like, that's why your ass is wearing that ugly ass outfit with them patterns and shit. And so she talking about, what are you talking about? My clothes is fierce. I ain't gonna lie, because I'll be feeling like they be having this Sabrina and some old rags sometime too. But he was telling her, I know fashion and that ain't it. And she was like, well, do you know about Q? Of course she want to try to flip it back around on him. And he was like, don't. And she was like, well, he needs to stop calling you and you need to stop talking to him or whatever the case may be. And like I said, just trying to turn it back around on him. And so he was like, girl, look, if you don't want him, let me go ahead and go after him, honey. I done did things for way less than that. What do you think that I would do, where this is concerned? And she also was telling him, that corporate thought he was a part of the setup. He cannot play no games. She's the one that went to bat for him and said he didn't have anything to do with it. And look, what would it look like if he's still dealing with him after all of this that happened? And I could have sworn she had told him this already, so I don't know why he was acting shocked about it. But she was telling him, you really do need to stop talking to him because this could affect not only your personal life, but your damn job, okay? And you don't look like you thinking really clearly. And so he was like, you think I'm stupid? He was like, I'm not stupid. And she's still saying stay away from him. And then he's basically like, you worry about you and your issues. You just do you. I got me. All right? And I'm like, I hope you do, Maurice, because you sure as hell ain't been acting like it. And then he gonna talk about, well, at least it's not a vibrator. And like I said, he told her if she don't get it together and go after this guy, he will put on his wig, his dress, and he will go get that man. And she's like, whatever, Maurice. And he was like, girl, listen, I did it for a bingo card and $20 before, so what do you think I would do for $1 million? Maurice ain't got no damn sense, okay? And so Fatima was calling Zach, and it was really pissing me off that Jake still hadn't damn called her, okay? I'm like, Jake, what are you doing? She's leaving him a message. She still don't know that he got arrested. She comes in the office to double check with Fatima before she leaves, and let her know that she about to go for the day and ask her if she needs anything else. And she was basically like, no, she was good. And so, we then had Aaron show back up at the damn beauty parlor. He don't want to let it go either. He had Karen shop, and he basically like, did you get my text? Did you get my email? Did you see the graph? Okay, he ain't playing, okay? He done sent my girl a calendar to check over in the whole nine. And of course, Karen is coming out with attitude. She's basically like, yeah, I seen it, but I've been busy. I really didn't feel like dealing with that right now. I'm overwhelmed right now. I don't want to talk about this. I did call to make an appointment, and they said that they would set one up when they have time or something along them lines. And he was saying that he knows somebody there and he could probably get her in faster. She's like, no, I will just wait. My turn. I don't need your help. When I know, you will know. But at this point, I really don't think it's anything for us to talk about. I said what I said. And so, of course, he's frustrated. They're frustrated. She's frustrated. Everybody's frustrated with it at this point. And Pam basically was saying bye to him when he was leaving out. And she was like, oh, he don't look too happy. And, of course, Karen telling her not to worry about that or whatever the case may be. And, saying she always in some damn body business and she could always seem to know was happening with somebody else, and she was asking if the lady ever came back that was asking questions about Zach. She told her no, but she was like, do you want to call my peep, want me to call my peeps? I always keep my ear to the streets. And so Karen like, well, you right about that because you damn nosy. And so, again, Pam is telling her she'll see what she could do. And Pam is like, okay. So basically, she's like, you need to deal with this and you need to see what's what. So when Karen looks, she sees that, Aaron is still sitting outside, and she's like, what is he still doing here? And Pam is like, girl, is he crying? And then Karen talking about shit. So she does go out to the car and basically was like, I'm sorry, I'm on edge. My nerves is all over the place. My feelings is over the place. I'm not feeling like myself right now. I know that this is a lot to handle. Aaron is wiping his little tears away. He's saying it's all good. And she's like, no, it's not. Excuse me, y'all. And so she's like, I'm really irritable right now, and everything is just feeling crazy for me. And so he tells her that he gets it. And, she's saying she gets it too. And he's saying, do you really realize how much I love you, how much I want to be with you? She was like, I do. But Aaron, at the end of the day, boo, she don't want that. And not only that, she don't want to face the truth right now, or even think about it, the option of it being anybody else but, Zach, baby. And she already asked you to give her time. So right now, that's really all you could do. You can't force her to love you. You can't force her to feel the way that you want her to feel. Only thing you could do at this point is wait for that confirmation from the doctor. And if it is yours, go from there. And if it's not yours, go from there as well, if she even still wants to be with you. What frustrates me with Karen is he was telling her, I would rather you tell me you don't want me. At least that way I could walk away. Because on the one hand, you got her saying, I need space, I need time, which she have every right to do that. She's basically like, oh, well, we could still be friends. We could still keep in touch. At one point, she tells him she's going to call him. And he's like, all right, so then I won't call you. I'll only wait for you to call me. Oh, no, but you could still call me, too. So it's like on the one hand, you'll be saying, you don't want nothing to do with him. You don't want him around. And then the next hand is like, oh, no, but you still can be around. And I'm just like, which one is it, girl? I'm just as confused as him. But she does say to him, look, I know you want this to be your baby, but I swear to you it's not. How can you swear that when you haven't got the confirmation, Karen? I'm just like, Lord, this girl want this to be Zach baby so bad and ain't got one drop of a confirmation yet. And so he tells her, I disagree. And she's like, I got it. You've been very clear about that. And so, like I said, he's asking, well, what do you want me to do? And she was like, look, I just want to figure this out, and then you do the same. And he's like, well, what is there for me to figure out? Because at this point, he's pretty much, laid all the cards on the table for her. And so she was like, I mean, this is just overwhelming, and I just need time and space, okay? Basically repeating what she already told him from before. And so he says, okay, they both basically say, all right. She does say that it's still okay for him to call her. Like I said, so I guess she just gonna play with him and, have him wondering for the next couple of weeks or months or however long that it's gonna take for her to finally get her behind to the doctor and find out, what's going on. Until then, it's not really much that he can do. All right. And so then we have, Gary begging and pleading with Andy. This was another thing that I really didn't care about, okay? He's still saying he want to talk to her. He's saying, he want to walk her through the apartment. He want to take her on this date. She's saying, I don't want that. She supposedly called him to tell him that she still wanted her furniture moved. She still wanted the clothes moved. He's like, okay, I'm going to call, the movies. I thought you would have changed your mind. I thought you really liked it. And she was like, I do like it, but I don't want you holding over nothing over my head. Even though you're saying that you bought it for me and it's in my name, just the fact that you bought it, you would still be acting like you own it. And he's saying, no, he wouldn't. And she's saying, yes, he would. She already know him. And yes, he would. Okay, I agree. And so, of course, he's like, she telling him he gonna say the same stuff he said a million times would be different. He gonna talk about, I swear to you, I won't. Okay, well, then we could just sit in silence. We ain't gotta say nothing. We could just stand there and look at each other, And so she's like, I have to go. And he was like, well, just please at least think about it. And then, she's basically like, just still like waiting. And he's like, please just think about it. And then she says bye. And so we already know that Andy is still, down the Gary hole. And then she starts taking these rubber bands off the ball that Fatima had gave to her. And after a while, she just gets frustrated and throws the ball across the room, because at the end of the day, she already knows the answer to her own daggone question, okay? And so then we had who was it next? Oh, we had Fatima Crazy. So, laughing at Hayden in the daggone garage. I swear to you, whenever I see her laughing, she make me laugh, because she just be laughing so hard. And he like, ain't nothing funny about this. He's like, it wasn't that serious. You really had to come and do something like this to me. He's telling her to stay away from him. And she's just telling him again, like, you caused all of this. You was the one that started it when you messed with my man. And he's like, it's like that. And she's like, yes, it is. And as long as you stay away from him and you don't come back with no more mess, then we ain't got no problem. But the minute that you do, you are going to have worse problems, okay, than what you started out with. All right, so just keep that in mind. And of course, she still don't know that damn Zach is locked up. She still ain't get the call from Jake or whatever have you. When she do find out, Hayden gonna be in for something again, boy. And so, she's just dying laughing and telling him, hurry up, move, walk, I like seeing you run, 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 and running behind him or whatever have you. All right, and I'm like, Fatima is crazy as I don't know what. And so you then had Andy showing up at Karen's shop. Karen wasn't there at first, and her and Pam was talking for a minute. Pam was asking, do you want me to call her? She's like, no, I got it. Then Pam, of course, with her nosy behind, saw the car and was like, girl, who car is that? And she was like, oh, that's a nice car. So when Karen finally do get in there, she's telling Pam that she got some supplies. She tells her to go out to the car and get them. And then Pam is like, you just trying to get rid of me. And she like, well, go ahead, do your job. I got them in the car. Go and get the supplies and bring them in. And so basically, she goes and was like, well, I could at least look at the car while I'm out here. And so then you have Karen and Andy inside for a minute talking about themselves, and she's asking her what's going on. And of course, Andy is telling her she's thinking about going on this date with with Gary, right? And then she's saying that, Fatima does have somebody that's set up for her to buy the car. That, as much as she loves the place and she wants to keep it, more than likely she's not going to do that. She's going to sell whatever money she makes, she's going to give it back. And so Karen is like, I'm telling you, that's the right thing to do. That's what you should do. But I know you, and I know that you did like it, and I know that you probably will, fall for it and still want to deal with him. And so Andy says she's thinking of going on this date with him. She's like, she didn't give an answer yet, but she is thinking about it. And Karen is like, well, then you pretty much made up your mind. And she was like, but it would be a date and that's it. And Karen says, I know you, okay? Don't try to go calling Danny either, because you feel like she's going to agree with you, which is just what I said, right? That she thinks it's okay for her to keep this stuff, and she's going to want to hear somebody that's saying that, as opposed to her that's telling her the real deal. And even though Karen does irritate the hell out of me with other things, when it comes to what she be telling Andy about Gary, she don't be lying, okay? I can say that. And so, she basically was calling her out about that part, but she was like, at the end of the day, you're going to do what you want to do, so okay, it is what it is. Andy is telling her she's right, and she's like, Karen is saying, you're not fooling me, I know you well, okay? And she was like, look, it is good to have different people's perspectives on certain topics. And Karen says, not on this topic, okay? What I'm telling you is what you should do, all right? And so she was like, well, anyway, of course she wants to change it, because she was saying, what if he sees a therapist, a real one, a good one this time, that could get to the root of his issues? And she was like, you're not listening. She was like, Gary is just going to buy me. What is he going to buy me next? A jet? And so Karen was just basically like, don't fall for it. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, well, I am going to let him take me to this dinner. At least I am considering doing that. That's it. And so, Karen at that point was just like, go ahead, girl. Okay, suit yourself. And she was like, you don't think I should go? And she was like, well, if you already said yes, what difference do it make? She was like, well, I haven't told him anything yet. Right now I'm still thinking about it. And she was like, well, you pretty much made up your mind, so you might as well. And so she was like, I think that I just need to talk to him. And, at this point, like I said, Karen is pretty much like, okay, girl. She was like, I do have a situation of my own. So, and she was like, yeah, you right. I'm sorry. She was like, telling her still that she needs to set up a doctor's appointment when I thought she told Aaron earlier she did. But whatever, girl. I can't keep up. And so Andy tells her, she wants to go with her when she's going. And she says, yeah, okay. And she was like, I'm serious, Karen. You have to let me come with you and be there with you for this. And she tells her, okay, I will. I'll let you know. And so she said, okay, in which I think that's a good idea. I think somebody should be there with her ass, okay, to find out what's going on. And so, she was just telling her, like, I don't know yet. I haven't talked to him about anything, and I'm still thinking about it. And Karen was like, okay. And she was like, well, I'm going to get some work done. You go ahead and think and do what you got to do. And so she tells her, okay, bye. So once Andy walking out the daggone door, you hear her saying, Pam, get out of my car. And Pam like, girl, I look good in here. You should at least give me a ride. That part was funny. Pam is just always Pam, okay? And she was telling her that it was pretty. And so finally, at the end of the damn episode, when it's like 2 daggone minutes left, here come the damn cop telling Zach that his lawyer's here. He's like, lawyer? And the cop was about to walk away. And Zach is like, wait. He was like, you want to see him or not? He's like, yes, I want to see him. So when he take him in there, it's freaking Jake standing there with whatever this guy is that he hired to be Zach's attorney. And he's asking him, did he call Fatima? And he was like, I was going to call her, but I didn't know if I should call her about this. Zach is like, about what? Okay, what the heck is going on already? And of course, they got to be prolonging it. They still ain't saying what it is. They throw some papers on the desk. The lawyer's like, you're going to have to tell me the truth. You're going to have to let me know everything if you want my help. Zach is like, about what? And they like, go ahead, look, read it. And then Zach starts to read it and he's talking about, yo, what the hell is this? What's going on? Are you serious right now, man? So we still don't know exactly what the hell it is that Zach is supposed to be in there for, okay? Of course, they gotta drag this daggone thing till the wheels fall off. But that was how the episode ended, you guys. You tell me, what you thought about it. What do you think he's in there for? At the end of the day, I feel like Jake still could have called Fatima behind. I don't give a damn what the hell the charges is, okay? She needs to know what the hell is happening. But that was all that happened tonight, guys. So like, share, comment, okay, subscribe. Till next time, toodaloo.